as a founder of the Adaptation company, I am always in kind of an interface between the publisher story and the creators, and we create an ecosystem for the content creators and to find the story. In a way, the diamonds are made into necklaces by the goldsmith. I am a story smith, actually bringing all the stories together for creators' attention, and some of them are made by us directly and some of them are actually recommended to others to really do that. Since I've also had a great fortune to know the audiovisual industry of France, I've had a very deep and profoundly good relationship with a lot of my professional colleagues in your wonderful country, and I respect France because it is always a culture first country and where it gets a lot of support to the creative industries, whether it is about books, whether it is cinema, documentary, television, music, art, dance, anything to do with the creative enterprise. France is always at the forefront. Shoot the book is very interesting because we are up to date on the latest new editions of the French novels and short stories and other non-fiction and the graphic novels that comes to our attention, and this is an amazing event, and I once again respect France to bring this event, the community of publishers and the content creators in this country together. And I don't think any other country does like this, so I am extremely fortunate to be part of this, and I find it is a great privilege to really be involved in this ecosystem. I thank all the publishers who have had a tremendous creative output in terms of the great stories and books that they have created, and they continue to invest their time, money and efforts and passion into. And I think we would want to, this is the starting point of how to consume those stories in India, and I think this event really brings closer to the consumers and the audiences of the future. Indian production is still at a nascent stage in spite of the fact that we produce large number of films, the highest number of films. And as you know that India is almost like a kind of a subcontinent in a way, with 28 languages, with hundreds and 200s of diaspora, dialect and different cultural, ethical background. And it is a very complicated diversity in a unity kind of a concept. So some of the main producing film centers in our country are Mumbai, Hyderabad, Chennai and Trivandrum, and in Calcutta, and the films are made in different regional languages including the mainline Hindi languages. As I told you, we make more than 1500 films in a year in the different languages, and the way our production is planned is financed by equity owner and not the state and culture participation from different multiple sources, the regional funds, subsidies and cultures and co-productions. I think it is an individual enterprise who puts in a lot of money, or now we have some collaboration with American studios like 20th Century Fox, Disney and Viacom 18, all are here now. So sometimes we do that, but most of the filmmaking activity is centered around a private enterprise, a private equity and individual equity financing, as compared to France, wherein the films are made with a lot of collaboration, with a lot of regional funds, subsidies from a culture fund, CNC and many other like-minded bodies within Europe and outside of Europe. But in India we still do not have a culture as a kind of a state activity, a culture as a welfare activity. We do not have that as yet. But as I told you that we are a young democracy, we are going to be there very soon and be matured there in terms of storytelling. We have missed many steps in evolution of the audiovisual industry so far, though we may be 100-year-old. but we have based our storytelling on the basis of mythologies only. But now with the World Wide Web and the platform and the traveling becoming easier, I think the world is becoming a kind of a porous, and we are getting a lot of inspiration from Europe, and especially from France, where we have a long history of collaborations on every field. And I think the collaboration in the field of books, music, art, films is a new development in the country, and we are all very enthusiastic about consuming such experiences and inspiration from France. I only wish the 5 pictures for the size of the country were a little too small. I wish there were more pictures, and what I like, however, in those 5 are diversity, because some were the graphic novels, some lent itself organically to animation films, and some to feature films. And I think all these things sounds very, very interesting, because this is the first time we are hearing the new stories coming out of France, and I think it is better to dipstick and delve into it and read more. And my only appeal to the French publisher is they invest some more time and efforts into making these stories accessible to India, predominantly in English language, and not just the long synopsis, but larger chapters and more chapters, so that Indians can understand more the character arc, the story arc, and how it can be adapted into our social cultural context of the country's storytelling ideas.